afternoon, good evening, everyone. Good morning if you're in Asia. Thank you so much for joining today to this webinar about our Master of Advanced Management from Yale SOM. My name is Camino de Paz. I'm the Assistant of Global Network Programs. And I'm here with three recent alumni from our program. Thank you so much for your time. I know you are all busy. You're in different parts of the world. So I really appreciate that you came back and share with us. It's so good to see you all. And the way we're going to go about this webinar is we're going to be asking our alumni questions that have been pre-submitted by the audience and also live questions. So feel free to please put your questions in the Q&A feature of Zoom, and I'm going to be kind of collecting those and reading those. And the goal of the webinar is to basically explain to people who might be considering the program, what is the added value of this program, right? They're all studying an MBA, and so they're considering this second graduate degree, and would it make sense or would not make sense for their journey? So we're gonna try to answer as many questions as possible. And without further ado, I'm gonna turn it over to our guests today to introduce themselves. So if I can start with you, Monica.
Yeah, of course. Hi, everybody. So my name is Chen Xi, or you can call me Monica. Originally, I was born in China, and then I majored in Spanish literature, and that's why I was sent to Latin America for work for 5 years. So I was doing marketing job in Huawei, principally like 4 years in Mexico and 1 year in Colombia. And then I decided to improve my business skills and also knowledge. So I ended up applying firstly for EGADE Business School of Tec de Monterrey in Mexico and Santa Fe campus. And then I did the joint degree program in Yale SOM. So after graduation, right now I'm having my own company. I'm in Mexico City right now. I'm having my own marketing agency, doing all the PR, event, marketing stuff. And also I have a cultural space here to build the cultural bridge between China and Mexico. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Kevin, can you go next?
Yes, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Kevin Mellado. I'm from a small city in Mexico called Saltillo, Coahuila. It's okay if you don't know it, no one knows it. Before coming to Yale, I was doing my master's degree in Academy Business School as well, with Monica in a city called Monterrey. And while I was doing my MBA, I was working at a company called John Deere. They manufacture agricultural equipment. I was working as a supply chain manager. Before I came to Yale. After I finished my degree, I was lucky enough to get two offers, and I took one at Lucid Motors, which is a automotive startup. And so far, it's been great, very dynamic.
Thank you. Where are you based right now?
I'm currently in Michigan. And the role, I forgot, the role I'm doing right now is program manager.
Thank you. Suresh.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. I'm Suresh Padhyari, born and raised across India in a military family. As an IT engineer, I started my career with Infosys, then moved to Standard Chartered. And prior to SOM, I was working with Indian Oil in the sales operations and also taking up some social impact work related to gender equality with the state governments there. And I've done my MBA from Xavier Institute of Management, Bhubaneswar, India, which is a non-network school. And again, I'm an outlier because I took almost 6 years to decide after my MBA that I need to pursue an MAM. And after graduating from SOM, I'm currently working with Amazon as a senior supply chain manager based out of Bellevue, Washington.
Thank you so much. I'm going to kick it off with a question. We always say that the MAM is a one-year degree program, so intense, and people only think about the academic part of it, which it is intense. But it is intentionally an in-person program because the experience is so rich outside of the classroom as well. So can each of you share very quickly one or two either clubs or events or conferences, anything that you participated in during your time at SOM that really made an impact beyond the academic journey that you also pursue as part of the MAM?
Yes, I can start. I was part of in the art and culture club and something like innovation club. What really nurtured me was that first of all, I took the class named Entrepreneurship in Art Market because of the club, and I really like it because I do painting as well. So I think the clubs in SOM give you the chance to do all the joint things, not only in the business field, but you can try to connect your career or your interest in the business field. For example, they're gonna tell you how to value a painting in the market wise. So I really love it. So I think it enriched my life not only in an academic way, but also in my personal life as well.
Thank you, Monica.
Yeah, I something that I was surprised when I came to SOM was that there's so much clubs because everyone is interested in something different, and whatever you're interested in, you're gonna find a club for that. So that's something great that I discovered when I got here. Uh, the first club I joined was ALAS, which is the Latin American club, just to grow my network. But also, there are like fun clubs and there are also like academic clubs. So I also joined the tech club just to be prepared a little bit more if I wanted to go into a tech company. And I also joined the finance club because I wanted to learn more about finance, and it's just really fun, to have some weekly huddles to learn about finance and the finance world and so on. So those, I would say, for the three main clubs that I joined and I spend most of the time after class.
Thank you, Kevin.
Uh,
Sure.
so I'll take it up. So essentially, I extensively use the resources from Consulting Club and Tech Club to prepare for my recruiting. So even though I joined Amazon, I believe like the casing that I did or the experience that I had with the Tech Club that eventually helped me and get a job offer at the end. And apart from that, I was almost always present in all the events by South Asia Club. And one more thing to the attendees who are joining, like I'd like to mention that there are so many clubs, like Kevin mentioned, but the school also is open to any new ideas that you have for coming up with a new club. So during our time, we essentially thought of coming up a new club called Chai Club, which is like essentially Indian tea. But we eventually dropped it off because there was we could not get a lot of foothold and traction on that. But unofficially, there was one such thing that we enjoyed and bonded with. So yeah, again, if you're having any ideas, I'm pretty sure 99% of the time there would be a club for that. But if for that 1% of the time you want to come up with something, there's always an option to go ahead.
Thank you. The next question I'm also going to ask to the three of you, because we always need to tell prospective students what the MAM is, right? So they are doing an MBA or have recently graduated from an MBA, and we understand that the MAM is not for everyone. You do an MBA at the top school in the world, you are very well equipped to continue your career. So I'm very curious to know, what was it for you? Like, what gaps were you trying to fill? How was your decision process? How did you decide that you needed or wanted to pursue the MAM beyond the MBA? And again, I want to ask the three of you because your reasoning might be different and it might resonate with what our attendees might be thinking or being in the process right now.
Yeah, so sorry, you can start.
Okay, thank you, Monica.
Yeah.
So I think like the MBA did give me like the business toolkit, as MBAs do. But when I was looking at the MIM program, I realized that it will give me such a global context, and it will help me develop like this strategic thinking. But especially like the leadership courses are just incredible. When I did the GNAM, I took a class with Soy Chance, and I thought this is something that I was not taught at the MBA, and this is something that I really need to grow in my professional career.
Yeah, so for me personally, I already knew the MAM program before I entering EGADE Business School. So it's like by purpose, intentionally, I choose the joint degree program. So for me, I can save time. So I can do 1 year there and 1 year here. So only in 2 years, I can have 2 degrees. So my intention was that firstly, I want to know more people in different industries in Mexico. That's why I choose EGADE. But at the meanwhile, I also want to have a degree and also the living experience in a more internationally prestigious university. So in my perspective, it's a very good program if you want to save your time to have both degrees in the same time. Yeah.
So I come from a non-network school, and I almost took 6 years to decide that I want to pursue another degree. So essentially, the idea was I realized that there were some skill gaps between where I wanted to be and where I was currently at that time. So MM offered me a focused pathway to learn and help with the career transition, apart from giving me access to the brand name, global recognition, and access to the alumni network. So since I was very focused, I knew exactly what I was getting into and what I wanted. So my coursework was super STEM heavy. Like I ended up taking almost 30 STEM credits, which is almost double the minimum requirement. But at the end, I think it was a great learning experience, both inside and outside the class.
Suresh, you're talking about the curriculum, and I want to kind of, go a little bit deeper into this, because we say, oh, the MAM is basically the program that you want it to be, right? You craft your curriculum. There are only 2 required courses. The rest is complete freedom. You can take classes at SOM. You can take classes outside of SOM. So can you explain a little bit more how you went about deciding what your MAM was going to look like? You say you took over 30 credits of STEM. I'm learning about this now. Should I had known, I would probably advise you against it, but here you are, so you survived. But how was your process deciding among all the different courses that you could choose from at SOM and outside of SOM, and how did you narrow it down to whatever classes you ended up taking in the end?
So for me, the curriculum design, it started right at the time when I applied for the program, because I knew exactly why I was applying and what I wanted from the program. So also, since it's a very short program, it will be my strong recommendation to everyone to start working on like what curriculum you're looking at. So essentially, I designed my courses into 3 major buckets. One is STEM, second is strategy, and a little bit of soft skill development. Once that was done, since the course curriculum was available, I could do that. And after that, I reached out to a few existing students and alumni to get their perspective around, like, I was like, this is what I'm doing, these are the skill gaps that I'm having, this is where I want to be, what's your recommendation on this? So that is one part. And second was, I really appreciated that SOM, like Yale, encourages students to take courses and classwork from outside the SOM essentially. So I went above and beyond SOM. So, for instance, I took Introduction to AI Applications with the undergrads, which is a 4 credit course. Then again, I audited one course, which was Introduction to Quantum Computing with School of Arts and Sciences. So it's like you can go out and you can explore new things if you want to, or if you want to build on something very clearly, you can do that as well. And we had some really good people from our cohort who went to in different directions. Like Monica was interested in art. There were friends who were interested in music and drama. So it's like pretty much free. And for MM, we just had 2 classes that we had to do together. Rest was completely up to us on how we want to do it and what we want to do. And one last point I'd like to mention is that there is a requirement for minimum credits, which is 40, but there's no upper cap. So anyone can go as with as much course load as they would like to have. So that's pretty much it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I would like to, sorry, extend the point that Suraj just mentioned, that for me, I really like the point that MAM is a program of flexibility. You can personalize your courses. Apart from only 10% of the required courses, the rest of 90% of the courses can be personalized by yourself. So as Suraj mentioned, you can choose like in drama school, engineering school, etc. And finally, only if you are curious enough and you have enough energy, you can schedule your like daily classes from early morning to the night, and the tuition is the same. I know some universities, they charge by the credits, so some people are afraid of to choose a lot of courses only to require the minimum requirements to graduate. But at this program, you can choose as many as you want, as long as you have the energy to finish them.
Thank you. We have a related question. So Kevin, so if everything is so flexible, you guys take things that are different, how do you keep the cohort spirit? Like how do MAM students connect and feel part of the MAM cohort? Or are you completely blended with MAM, GBS, and you don't have that sense of belonging? What did your cohort do to stay connected?
So we did get together every other week, exclusively MAM group, so we can build stronger links between us. Have more being more comfortable with one another. And but when you go into a class and you see someone else from the MAM, you can sit beside them and just talk about how it has been going for them. And even now we keep talking with each other over WhatsApp, email, phone calls. So the bond you create with your MAM cohort is really, really strong. So I would say activities after classes and meeting each other in clubs and so.
Perfect. I want to kind of go a little bit over the admission process, right? Like people who are listening to us, they might be right in the middle of the admission process or considering to apply to the program. The application is lengthy. There are essays, transcripts, and then you have to go through the whole process. And then if you get good reviews, then you are invited for an interview. So what would you think has been your success factor in your admission process? Of course, you don't need to describe the whole process. We go over that in other info sessions. But if you were to say, where do you think is the most important part of the admission process, and what was it that made you successful? What would that be?
Okay, so I can start. For me, I guess it was because of the international exposure, because there were not that many Chinese community in Latin America. So it was something unique to do business there, especially in a multinational company. So I really needed to be very creative in the ways to do all the marketing campaigns to understand the local culture and then to try to localize some, I don't know, business strategy from headquarters in Shenzhen. So I feel like that kind of international exposure made me kind of stand out in the admission process. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if this is what made me successful in the application, but this is what I think is what it did. I would suggest like be genuine, like be yourself during the application, because I think people that are reading the application are gonna see like discrepancies. And if you're true to yourself and you are honest in your application, your success would be the success rate should be higher, and also show some global perspective, because obviously when you come into SOM, you're gonna meet people from everywhere, from all backgrounds, from all countries in the world, and with very different perspective than yours. So having the ability to have that global perspective, I think is gonna be truly helpful. And I think last thing would be that you show growth professionally during your MBA, that you learned, that you took something from it, and you're using the tools to advance in your career. Those are the three main things that I think made my application successful.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah,
Suresh.
Kevin and Monica, they covered a good breadth of ideas about what can make a student get an admit from MAM. I'd like to give a broad-based perspective of what I feel like adding in the recommendations. Like, for instance, the first part that people should look into was align with the SOM values. So it's not just business, it's also the society part. So that I try to point out, like I was working with the business and then I was also engaged in the society, like doing social impact programs with the state government, working on gender disparity, financial inclusion. And second is to understand the crux of MAM. It's not another MBA, it's just a 1 year fast tracked advanced management program. So you need to be very clear about what am I bringing in and what I'm expecting to get out of this program. So that part was clear. And the most important part, what I felt during my journey was understanding the why. I wanted to ensure that I clearly communicate the why aspect of MM to the admissions committee. So for that, the best approach I used was to reach out to and talk to as many people as I could, including the current students, the alumni. So I think that helped me cover all of my why aspects, and a few, like two or three whys were remaining, which I could not find an answer to. So those were the whys that I asked during the interview. So that pretty much covered all the reasons. So, and also that helped me be a little more collaborative about, like, am I setting the right expectations from myself, from the school? Will I be able to contribute there, or will it be able to meet my expectations? So it was kind of two-way collaboration what I was looking at.
Thank you, Suresh. So New Haven, right? So, okay, you get admitted into the program and then you have to move to New Haven, Connecticut. So how was that process, and how was landing in New Haven? How difficult or not was it to find an apartment, if you're staying in an apartment, or I don't know if you stayed on campus. We have a little bit of housing on campus, but very limited. So how was that process for the three of you? And where did you start, like when you were, okay, I'm moving to New Haven, I need to make this happen? Where do you start, and how do you connect, and how was the process? Kevin, I'm gonna start with you now.
Yes. For me, when I first got the admission letter, I was obviously extremely excited. I immediately went into Zillow and began looking for apartments, and I found the perfect apartment. But
Really? That easy? Wow.
I thought, okay, I'm gonna take this apartment. I'm just gonna wait a few weeks. Then when I came back, the apartment was gone. Then I saw a new one. I said, okay, I'm gonna take this apartment. I took another couple of weeks. The apartment was gone as well. So I would say my first advice when moving to New Haven is, if you find an apartment that you love, try to get it as soon as possible, because they go out fast. And once you find the correct apartment, honestly, the life in New Haven, I mean, you would get mixed comments, right? People don't like small cities. To be honest, I was extremely happy in New Haven because you could walk everywhere, and you have so many, like, everything was so dense. So you have everything just close to the apartment, close to campus. And, moving to New Haven was rather simple, I would say. I just took a suitcase and installed in the apartment, and I was able to walk around my apartment to buy the things that I needed just to live there. So it's fairly easy if you find the right apartment, which is the most difficult part. After that, moving around is quite simple. The city is quite small, and to be honest, you live in peace in that place. So yeah.
Thank you. So we covered a little bit about admissions, a little bit about how to work on the curriculum. We have a question about, I can very quickly answer that question about the two core classes. If it's only MAMs taking those two classes, and the answer is yes. So those two required courses are only for MAMs, and everybody is together in those two classes. We did talk a little bit about extracurricular activities you're involved in. Let's move on to actually doing the program, managing the workload, curricular, extracurricular activities. And then I also want to touch a little bit on the professors. So how was your relationship with the professors? Are they approachable? Are they not? Are the classes mostly lectures? Are they case-based? Are there differences between classes at SOM and classes outside of SOM? So what can you talk about, your experience and interaction with the faculty at Yale? And did you engage beyond the class? Like, I don't know if any of you worked with them as a teaching assistant, or know of people who have worked as teaching assistants. Can you speak a little bit about the faculty and how you interacted with them?
Yeah, so I think it's very interesting that different professors have very different personalities, which I love it. So you can feel that, for example, you are interacting with finance professors, probably they are more formal, serious, and with tech related or computer science related, they are more fun, more like easygoing, things like that. But anyways, you can always reach them out through Canvas, through email, or through TA. And each class has different office time in a certain period in the week. So you can go to the office to look for the professor for some doubts you have academic wise. Otherwise, for example, you want someone to help you for training of interview in tech industry, you can just write to your professor, arrange a meeting with them. So in general, I think it's pretty much approachable. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Building on what Monica said, I'd like to add on to it. Like the professors I felt are super helpful and approachable at SOM. So you can easily go out and reach out. You can easily reach out to them and try to understand what are the courses you're looking at, what are the course load like. So essentially, they'll tell you, like, for instance, I was taking more than 30 credits in spring term. So reach out to another professor for another 4 credit. So it's like probably I might suggest you to do an audit. So that's something you can look at. And apart from that, the professors, they offer really good guidance. They can help you with the resources. It can be both ways. You might be like, there were some courses where I was struggling and I wanted like something to start with, like baby steps. And there were some courses in which I felt I was better than the average, so I wanted to dive deeper. So in both scenarios, the professor were able to help me and nudge me towards the kind of resources I should be looking at and what are the kind of projects that I should be doing. And apart from the classroom, they're also encouraging and motivating you, like to start if you want to start something new. Like for instance, I was taking this course called AI and entrepreneurship. We came up with a model, and so it was an idea around AI-based astrology. So reached out to the professor. Not only he gave us the feedback, but he gave us more ideas and insights on like how the existing players are. This is what I should be looking at. This is what I'd recommend you should do. And above and beyond that, he was also open to connecting us with like more mentors and entrepreneurs in the area, which could help us scale the project if we wanted to. So I'd say like the professors are super helpful. They are willing to go above and beyond like the the classroom knowledge. It lies on the students on how you are making good use of the resources that you have.
Thank you. Another question that we always get is alumni network, right? Are they accessible? How do you connect with alumni? So Kevin, I'm gonna be asking you about this. I don't know if you had interaction with alumni where you were recruiting or where you were considering the program, or if you can talk a little bit about how that experience in general is. If you have own experiences, but if not, what you know from your peers and how they connected with alumni and how all that process works.
Yeah. So we have an alumni directory where you can look people in specific industries and you can send them an email directly. But from my experience, I found that the easiest way to get in touch with alumni is through LinkedIn. You can just filter Yale SOM, filter Google or Apple, and then you're going to get a list of alumni that are working at those companies, and just send them a message through LinkedIn, and yeah, you can just schedule a call with them. In my personal experience, I don't know if I did this too much, but I think I had a coffee chat at least once a week with an alumni, either working at tech or finance, just trying to learn more about their industry. And what I found amazing is how open are alumni to help current students and just how easy it is to grow the network within Yale. Because even if they didn't go to SOM, but they did another master degree, but they're in the company you want to go, and you can reach out to them and they can absolutely be a super helpful resource in your career growth.
We're presenting everything like, oh, this was so great, and we did this and we did that, and we crafted our curriculum and we moved to New Haven, we found an apartment. But I'm pretty sure that you faced challenges during the year, and so I don't want to skip that part. So what would you say had been your main challenges during the program or before or after, and And what would you like to share with people listening to try to avoid them to face the same challenges that you did?
Yeah, so yeah, I can start. So there are several points of difficulties. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, we have 2 minutes, but no, I'm just kidding. To answer this, no,
I'll be quick.
I'm totally kidding, Monica. I'm totally kidding. I was like, because if we're talking about challenges, we can be here for an hour. No, just kidding.
No. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so firstly, the language, because I've been many years without speaking English, so you need to be fluent actually to understand the majority of the courses. And then, yeah, you need to be well prepared because the courses are super intense. They don't give you time to read like for half hour in your class. You need to be well prepared before the class. And then the third one, the weather. It's kind of cold in winter. Haven't been in winter for many years either. And fourth, I think just because of the great resources, the great diversity, you really need to figure out what benefits you the most. Some people probably are more focused on academic courses and or network, or I don't know. I mean, you need to personalize your path. You need to really be really smart to find out what's the most important thing you need to accomplish in a very short time, only 10 months. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, building up on what Monica said, like in the hindsight, I feel I was a little late to start with my preparation. So essentially, the idea is your MAM journey starts the day you receive your admit letter. That's when you should start talking, reaching out to alumni, reaching out to career development office, working on your resume, elevator pitch, working on casing, because the recruitment timelines are very short and it starts the moment you arrive on campus. So you don't have much time or bandwidth left. And playing catch up can be very stressful, which was for me a bit. And always, like, if you start early, it helps you prepare well ahead in advance because essentially you are competing with MBA second years who have already spent 1 year in the school. So you have to ensure that you reach at the same level. So that was my first point. And my second point is don't go too overboard with the course load because in my case I graduated with 53 and a half, 53.5 credits, and I remember I've spent quite a few late nights in the library, and so it was a little bit hectic and stressful because one, it was time heavy. Second, you have to recruit. Third, there are networking events, inter-school mixers, which you have to attend because it's also a part of student life. So my idea would be have a very clear action plan about what you want to do and what you want to achieve, like going back to the same thing. So there are so many opportunities everywhere. There are so many alumni events, there are so many talks, so many parties, mixers, and whatnot, but you have only limited time. So you have to let go of some opportunities to achieve what you really want to do in
If
your
And
life.
if I
before
may ask,
Yeah, before Kevin jumps in, let me clarify. To graduate from the program, you need 40 credits. And I'm learning today that Shreyas took 53. I have no idea how many Kevin and Monica took, but I do not advise to take 53 credits. I have no idea how you did it. But anyway, it is true that you can take as many as you want, but to graduate, I just want to let people know that you need 40.
yeah, I wanna say two things. The first one is at Yale, there's so many stuff going on all the time, everywhere. It's never about what am I gonna do today. It's more about what I'm not gonna do today because you want to do everything. So the challenge is to find the balance. So I cannot, completely let go of networking or events, but I also, have to be really focused on academics, and also I have to prepare for classes. So it's always having to know or to prioritize what you want to do and when you need to sacrifice. That's the main challenge. And the second thing, I also took additional credits, not as many as Suresh. I think I took 4 additional credits first term, and I do not recommend it because you you miss opportunities in networking events, mixers, club events, because being in MAM is not only about classes, it's also about all the social events that are happening around campus, and having to spend a late night just studying for that additional course that you took may not be the best use of your time at Yale.
Thank you, Kevin. So Suresh and Kevin, you're already talking a little bit or touching on careers. And so we get so many questions about careers. So before I even pose a question to you, I want to say, I always mention this, and you probably heard me saying this. Nobody should do the MAM just thinking about finding whatever dream job that you have, because that is something that we don't know, we cannot guarantee. So you have to focus on the education, but it is true that once you're in the program, you are looking for your next opportunity. So how I know that there's the career development office. I know there are the professional clubs, and I know that each of you have to own your own career, right? And your own. So for Kevin and Suresh, how was that process for you, and how do you handle it, and how much help you received, and how much you actually did on your own? And then Monica, I wanna then you as an entrepreneur, which we also get a lot of applicants that are entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs. I also want to learn from you, how do you leverage the resources that we had at Yale? Like, do you work with Kyle Jensen and the entrepreneurship suite at SOM? Do you engage with Site City or with any of the other resources that we have at the university level? But let's first focus on Kevin and Suresh, which they were recruiting heavily for tech, and then we focus on entrepreneurship.
Kevin, you want to go or I
Yeah,
should
yeah, yeah.
continue?
So I don't know if this is the best approach. I don't think I will recommend you to follow this approach, but like on my mind, I was thinking, this is the last time I'm going to be a student. This is the last time I'm going to be able to enjoy classes. I don't want to sacrifice any of this to, go to fill applications. So at the beginning, I was not focusing on my career as heavily. I was not applying as much or doing as much, like reaching out to get recommendations for jobs. And then I began seeing like some other classmates that were very focused on, applying and applying and applying from the very beginning of the semester. And I thought, oh my God, maybe I'm a little bit late. And then I began going to with the CDO. They were very, very helpful. They will give you very good tools to work towards your next step in your career. And so I would say, obviously, you have to own your own career. You have to own your a lot of time each week to focus on what's going to be the next step. But there are a lot of resources, and my advice would be, do not be like me and do not wait until the last minute to begin applying. Try to do it maybe from the minute you step foot in at Yale University.
Yeah, I think I'd also echo with Kevin. So when I started, I had this assumption that since it's a 1 year program, that's plenty of time for me to prepare. And I kept postponing it. Since I was not recruiting in consulting, I assumed that there was a lot of time. But I later, like, as I came closer to graduation, I realized now I need to push hard. So I started recruiting heavily during the spring term. So that was when I was trying to have weekly one-to-one session with career development office, and that was super helpful. For instance, it helped me fine tune my strategy, prepare my elevator pitch, 60 seconds, 100 seconds, 200 seconds. So that was there. And again, uh, I understood the market was not very good and it's not a great idea to move functions in this industry, in this market. So I was trying to look at the allied roles from the job that I was already doing. So the career development office, they also helped me fine tune my strategy around the kind of roles that I should be looking at, the kind of organizations or firms I should be looking at, the kind of people I should reach out to, and what I should do. So everything was fine tuned. And using that, I started reaching out to people. So there was a lot of networking, coffee chats, which I also did, like, for instance, and the alumni, they were like very receptive. I ended up having coffee chat with directors from Google and Walmart. And coincidentally, during one of my coffee chat with Walmart, the coffee chat turned into phone screen. And the next day, I got a call from the recruiter of the same firm for the role. So those things also happen. So one strong recommendation from my learning would be, so whenever you're doing a coffee chat, be, if you're talking to someone serious senior, be very clear about what you bring and what you can, how you can contribute, and keep your elevator pitch ready. And that can only come when you're talking to people. So I think career development office is a great resource which I thoroughly used during my time at SOM and even after graduating till I got the job offer.
Thank you, Suresh. Monica, as an entrepreneur, how do you leverage the different resources SOM and Yale, broader Yale, has to offer?
Yeah, sure. I think there are mainly three resources that you can use as entrepreneur learning here. First of all, is institutional wise, there are some centers in Yale you can go frequently. For example, the Innovation Center in the like underground of SOM building, or there's a Thai City for Innovation in Yale campus, where you can go to learn from all the great entrepreneurs to exchange your ideas or just to participate in the competitions. If you win, you can have a grant to as the money to start your idea to make it real. And secondly, I think for everybody, not only for entrepreneurs and also for people who are looking for a job in a job market, Yale is a big endorsement. So it's like the endorsement you are using to have corporate interview with interviewers, with clients, or to convince the investors. The program also helps you to impress them. They will say, "Oh wow, you graduated from Yale. I'm going to invest in you." And third of all, I think it's very important to have the personal connection with the important people you are going to connect in the campus. For example, I asked Camino to help me to film a video for my launch event, which got a very good impression that night. So, I mean, yeah, people just need to be very supportive and help each other in your entrepreneurship career. Yeah, there are three resources that I find super useful.
Thank you so much. I know none of you, I believe, came with a family or a partner or kids, but we often get the question of people who come with their families. So I don't know if any of you have, okay, you have experience or knowledge about, what kind of support families get at SOM, what kind of, how do they engage in the community? Kevin, can you share, whatever you witnessed or your own experience? I don't know if you can with your partner or with
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, so I arrived to New Haven with my wife.
Oh,
Obviously, this was a very difficult conversation because we were very well settled back in Mexico. So she was a little bit hesitant of giving everything up and just moving to another place to see what happens. And I was afraid that she will not be able to integrate, or she would be maybe isolated. But she had the time of her life because she would always say, I get to enjoy everything that SOM has to offer without having to go to class. So she would be going to clubs. I mean, because there's a specific partner club at SOM, but uh, spouses from students go to that club and they do activities. And she had almost every day a different activity from a different group or club, not only in SOM but also Yale University as a whole. There's always events going on, so she had the time of her life. Even now that we now moved to Michigan and went back to real life, she still tells me, I wish we could spend another year at SOM when year was not enough.
that's great. I think that Yale really makes an effort in supporting your support system, right? We know that you during the year with us, you are under a lot of stress and overcommitted and wanted to do everything, and we know how important your support system is. And so I think I'm not going to take credit, but my colleagues really making effort in having things in place for your families and your loved ones to also feel part of the community. That's awesome. Okay, we have a question that keeps coming up, and so I'm going to address that question. And even though we cover this in every info session, we always get a question about scholarships. Do we have scholarships for this program? The answer is yes. I'm not going to make our panelists answer that question because definitely you don't need to share how much or how little you got in scholarships. So I'm going to cover that question. And basically, we have two types of scholarships. The first one is merit scholarships. And for those, you don't have to submit anything. You just have to stand out in the application process. And basically, when we communicate our decision to you, if you get admitted into the program and you have any award for merit, it will come in your admission letter. If once you receive your admission and your potential award, you still have a financial gap, then you can apply for need-based scholarship money. You will have then to submit a lot of paperwork, your finances, your taxes, everything, and we send that to our financial aid office. And they come back to you with a final package, right? Which would include merit and need. And that's how we operate for this particular program. I would like to say that we don't give full rights, and I really want to stress that out because you have to have some financial plan in place before applying. I feel really bad when we have amazing candidates, but they just don't have any financial plan in place, and they cannot cover any part of the program. But we really try to help as many students as we can with the budget that we have. So yeah, we got so many questions about scholarships, so I wanted to cover that part because I know it's a high tuition in the US, and that's top of mind for everybody. We have a question, and I'm not going to target this question to any one of you. Whoever wants to take it, take it. But it's a question regarding the value of the program, right? Beyond the Yale brand. So I don't know, any one of you've been talking about your experience, but what do you think it's like the main value added of the program beyond now having the Yale brand on your resumes?
So I want to address this one, and I want to address it in two parts. Really, like the personal part, what I think, what made me make the decision, and really the professional part. Right? This is going to be a return on investment. First, for the personal part, my thought process was, okay, I thought, okay, I'm gonna do like a ROI table to see when I'm gonna see the return on investment, to see if I'm gonna see the value. And I was unable to finish that table specifically of how I wanted it to end up like, but I realized that this opportunity is gonna give you an experience that very few people have. It's gonna give you an opportunity to experience things that you will not experience in any other environment. And to be honest, I absolutely do not regret at all coming to the school. If you want like a very cold answer of have you seen the return on investment, I cannot say that right now. I see how like just having the Yale brand on my resume opens a lot of doors. Right now in the office, every time someone looks me up at LinkedIn and says Yale SOM, they come to me, wow, you went to Yale, you must have you must be very smart. And I said yes, until I prove them wrong, right? But usually I can see that professionally opening a lot of doors. But personally, it's an experience that if you have the opportunity to take, you should absolutely take it.
Thank you, Kevin.
Building up on what Kevin said, I'd like to quickly add a few more pointers. So it's really important to understand that Yale does not guarantee a professional job or dream or aspiration that you want. But what is guaranteed is the academic experience, or so whatever subjects, whatever skill, whatever area you would want to deep dive into, there's definitely an opportunity because MM is not just within the SOM, it's like throughout the broader Yale University. So if you want to dive deeper into anything under the sun, it is available. There is an opportunity and option available for that. And second is like when you talk about the ROI part, I'd like to see it differently because the return does not depend on the financial investment, but it's also dependent on your time investment. So you have 24 hours in a day, you can take as many classes as you want, you can attend as many events as you want. So there's always a scope for learning within the classroom and beyond. And apart from that, like there are certain resources. Not only do you get access to the alumni network, like even after you graduate, you still have access to career development office resources. Plus, there's a networking happening for alumni, which is called Orbit Connect. So it's essentially matching two random alumni. You get to talk to each other. That happens. And also there are different alumni groups in different parts of the world. So you can be anywhere in the world, but there would be someone nearby and there would be an alumni network there. So this is a brand that stays with you throughout life, throughout geographies, and you can go anywhere and do anything that you want to do with it. So question is the question shouldn't be what this program is going to give me. It should be the other way around. What can I take out of this? So that's how I looked at this program, and that's how I prepared my essays in the past. So I think that can be a good way to start looking at it.
Thank you, Suraj.
Yeah, so for me, I think the most important value still lies on lifelong perspective. It's a very rare occasion in which you can enjoy the pure and simple environment of academics, reducing all the gaps or discrepancies between among all the nations, nationalities, class, different classes. For example, I was taking the class from the prior Mexican president, so I could never imagine that I could take a class from a prior president. And I don't think I'm going to be a president in the future, but I can put in my how to say, like I'm in his shoes to imagine his situation at that time. I was thinking like a president. So I don't think it's a very common experience you can have like randomly, but it's a very rare condition and a very precious experience in your life. Yeah.
Thank you. So believe it or not, we're nearing the end of this webinar. I'm just enjoying so much reconnecting with you all that I could keep on going for hours, but I want to be respectful of your time and respectful of our attendees' time. So before we close, I really would like for each one of you to think, what piece of advice would you give to people that are watching this webinar today that might be considering the program? What would you like to have known when you were in the process of considering the MAM that you didn't know that you know today? And that would be a piece of advice that you would like to leave for people considering the program.
Okay, I can start. So if I knew at that time, I would act more boldly and more bravely. Like I was kind of scared and intimidated at that time. I was like, no, yo is never going to accept me. So I was so nervous. I spent a lot of time overthinking. And for example, I took a GMAT for 4 times, and in the previous times, I didn't get satisfactory scores, and I was so terrified. I was thinking, should I apply or no? Apply or no? And during this time, I think it like wasted my time. I should have act more boldly. I just act, just do it, and then you will see the result in the process. Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh, Kevin, sorry, you can go ahead.
I,
So as Yeah, so essentially, I'll divide my suggestions or recommendations in two parts. One is pre-application. First one would be to start early and focus on controllables and just skip on the non-controllables. So you cannot change your ACADS, but you can always work on improving your profile, take on social impact projects, work on something that you would like to do, something that can showcase your other side apart from academics to the admissions committee. And second is have a clear vision about what you bring in and what you want to get out of the program. And next question comes how to figure that. So the easiest answer is go talk to people, talk to students, talk to alumni, get as many perspectives as you can. It'll always help. And the third is be authentic, show your personality, show your personal side, how you are outside class, outside work. Everything does matter. And coming to the second part, the post selection part, what is clear, what is very important to understand is having an exceptional part does not translate into your dream role. So be open to accept changes. Keep your plan A, B, C, D ready. If A doesn't happen, what do I do? If B doesn't happen, what do I do? Because that is something that will keep you on your toes and keep you motivated. Because not just Yale, but if you look at any B school across US, there are a lot of graduates who are graduating without a job offer, me included. I didn't have an offer when I graduated. So be ready to consider other options and pivot if required, and have a clear action plan, know what you want, and be willing to sacrifice other things because you cannot do everything. Yale is a very broad university and you have to pick what you can. Third is explore wide, go to different schools, go to mixers, go to global network events, build your own wide network, and try to see like try to gain different perspectives, try to understand different people, how they think, how they react, what's good, what's not so good. And my last and most important advice is, since it's a super short program, do not forget to have fun from day one. So that's most important.
Thank you, Suresh. Kevin, is there anything left?
I think Suresh pretty much said it all, but maybe I just want to reiterate two things that Suresh said. Mm, During the application, it can be daunting. The lengthy application, is it going to be enough? Should I study more? And something I did very late during my application process was reaching out to alumni, which were extremely helpful. And I think that's something that I should have done sooner, because the advices that they gave me were extremely useful. So, you lose nothing by just sending a message through LinkedIn and asking a couple of questions. That could be very helpful. And the second thing that I would like to repeat from what Suresh has said already is the year goes by really fast, and I only keep thinking of all the things that I should have done instead of sleeping, which obviously is a bad advice. But yeah, enjoy your time as much as you can while you're there.
Thank you so much. So, Kevin,
Yeah, and one quick question to build up on that, like when you said sleeping is important, I would suggest like people to go out, explore the libraries. I've had some really good sleeps in different libraries, so it's fun to go out and explore.
you slept on the library?
Yes,
Yeah, I did.
sometimes quick short naps, which was required because I didn't want to skip out on the classes. So essentially, the issue was as 30 plus credits during spring term, and I didn't want to skip out on mixers and networking events. So I'd take classes, go out on mixers, return to the library, do my assignments, have
Oh
a
my,
quick nap, then study. So it was fun in the hindsight, I'd say, but a very good learning experience.
I bet. Anyway, Kevin, Monica, Suresh, thank you so much. It's so nice to see you again after, meeting you, the three of you, through the admission process, even before the admission process, Kevin,
Mhm.
and then seeing how, your experience has been and how good you are right now with, your career. So it's really rewarding. So thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy, so we really, really appreciate it. And for the attendees, please reach out to alumni, reach out to us. We are in the midst of recruitment. We're round one is our deadline is December 1st. But my piece of advice would be submit an application when you feel you can submit the strongest one. Don't rush to submit in round 1 or 2. It's fine, round 3. Round 4 might be a little bit tight if you need to process a visa. But we will have slots. We will have scholarship money in every round, so don't rush it. I would also recommend you to check our website. A lot of information there. Future events, I believe next week or in a couple of weeks, we're going to have an application tips webinar. So please connect if you think that will be helpful to you. And we have an amazing podcast that we recorded last year with much more information. So download our episodes, and when you're commuting or you're exercising, listen to us. There's so much information there. I know Suresh is smiling because he's in one of them.
I usually listen to it, so it's
Oh, you
really
do?
fun to get to know
Really?
different perspectives. Yeah.
Cool. So yes, and please reach out to us, advanced management at yale.edu if you have any questions. And thank you everyone for connecting tonight. And I really, really hope that you decide to apply to the MAM. And we're all the team looking forward to reviewing your applications and meeting you hopefully very soon. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. All the best to everyone.
Best of luck. Yeah.